Dancing at the Museum programme. Hello, today we're going to look at The Gust of Wind, painted by Auguste Renoir in 1872. We're going to take the next 6 minutes to do the relaxation together, and then we will look at the painting. This is how we always start our sessions after we've all said hello to one another and checked in and see how we all are. We sit in a chair and we take 5 minutes to relax, to put some very gentle music on and arrive into our bodies, arrive into perhaps moving a little bit more slowly than usual, letting our busy minds still a little bit, and preparing ourselves to look at the paintings in an embodied way. So, take a moment to make sure you're sitting comfortably. Make sure there's nothing that's in the way around your feet or on your lap. For this first bit, it might be nice just to take your glasses off and put them somewhere near, so that you can find them again easily when we finish the relaxation. And remember, this time is for you. This is for you to enjoy, to relax, and we're going to do it together. So here we go. Okay, so let's begin. We're going to take the next 4 minutes to sit comfortably, to relax before we begin to look at our painting today. And there's no right way of doing this or wrong way. It's simply about enjoying, relaxing, enjoying the music, taking the moment to slow down. So make sure your back is supported by the chair. Make sure both feet are resting on the ground. And bring your hands to your lap. One hand on each thigh. So very slowly we're going to begin to move our hands along our thighs, keeping the bones of the fingers in contact with the bones of the thighs. Bringing your hands towards you and then slowly stroking your hands away. This is really good for helping ourselves relax. Letting your breath come gently, easily. See if you can bring your hands to a stop. And just take a bit of movement into your fingers, as if you're playing the piano very slowly. And just take that bit of movement into your wrists. Not really thinking about it, just letting your wrists and your hands move to the music. Again, there's no right, there's no wrong. Do whatever feels comfortable. Lovely. And then we're going to take our elbows, lifting them up at the sides slowly and stretching out our arms. Reaching out to either side of us, just letting our breath come gently, softly, bringing the hands back down to the lap. And we're going to do that again. Lifting our elbows out to the side, floating them up, and then stretching out the arms. That's it. And then slowly bringing our hands back to our laps. I'm going to take one hand and let that hand float up, slowly like a feather, reaching high above us, or as high as feels comfortable. And then again, floating that hand back down to your lap. And the other hand floats up, reaching as far above as you can go, perhaps reaching for the sky, bringing that hand back down again, softly, gently. Bring both your hands together and just give them a slow, soft rub. And then bring the palms of your hands to your eyes. Rest your eye sockets right into your hands as if you're leaning forward into a warm nest. And taking your fingertips, begin to massage your forehead, softly feeling the bones of the face. And then taking your fingers to the temples of the face and finding the cheekbones. And then moving the fingers along down to the jawbone. And slowly bringing those hands down along the front of the throat, down towards the heart. Just resting both hands over the heart for a moment. And then continuing with the hands down over the belly, right back to where we began. Hands in the lap. Shoulders relaxed. Just bring your shoulders for one final movement, back up to your ears, and then relax them back down. Lovely. Let your breath come slowly, easily, and rest. And when you're ready, we're going to open our eyes and we're going to begin to look at our first painting. We'd like to remind you to turn off your phones and to settle yourself in a comfortable position. Take the time to ensure nothing is in the way of you sitting or lying comfortably. All you need to do now is follow along, join in, and enjoy. You may have a printed copy of the painting near you, or you may be looking at the painting on a screen. Make sure you can see the painting well and make sure you're comfortable. So let's enjoy this first moment of looking at the Gust of Wind by Renoir. What do you see? What catches your attention? Take a moment to soak up the atmosphere of the painting. What do you immediately like about it? Have you seen it before? And now, let's take another step into looking more fully, into noticing more. We'll start at the top left-hand corner of the painting, settling into a colour of sky blue, moving across the sky, across the clouds, drifting from left to right and back again. Notice the clouds, the shapes, the colours, and notice the sky. Is it just one colour you can see, or are you slowly becoming aware of other colours peeping through? How would you describe these colours? Are they bright? Are they subdued? Are they warm colours, or are they cold colours? And here's the thing, how do the colours make you feel? And now let's look at the shapes of the clouds and notice their movement. Have you noticed how the textures of the brush strokes can shape how close a cloud can seem to us, or how it can seem quite a bit further away. Do the brush strokes seem fluid or slow? Are they broken or are they quick? How has the artist used the brush strokes to capture this moment, this skyscape? And now let your gaze continue to move down the picture, taking in now the shape of a tree in the foreground and the curve and the outline of the hills in the background. Can you begin to peer into the painting and notice perhaps the shapes of a house that at first we didn't see? Let's take a look at the colours the artist has used on the trees and the bushes. There's grass, there's plants. Are there any flowers? Are any of these trees recognisable to you? Sometimes it's nice to just notice how many different kinds of green there are in one landscape. What time of the day do you think this painting is? And which season has been captured? Do you have a sense of where this scenery might be? What country it might be in? And what gives you a clue as to where it might have been painted? What do you notice far off in the background? And now, taking a deep breath, how does the air smell and feel to you? Imagine yourself into the painting. Choose somewhere to be. Are you floating high in the sky? Or are you solidly on the ground with a tree behind your back? Does it feel calm and still? Or does it feel bracing and fresh on our faces? Imagine pulling on your walking boots and striding out over the hills. Where would your hike take you? What's beyond the horizon? Is there a place to sit and rest, to take in the scene? Listen to the wind running through the trees, the rustle of the leaves. And finally, allow yourself to run your hands through the leaves and the grass. So what qualities does this painting have? Does the landscape remind you of a place you might have visited, or a favourite walk, or a favourite scene from a train window as you journey to a city? How would you describe this painting to someone who doesn't have it in front of them? Where would you start? What would be the most important quality to convey about this painting? So, this painting was made by Renoir, who was born in 1841 and lived until 1919. It's called The Gust of Wind. You might well have seen the wind as it moved across the clouds. And it was painted in 1872. Renoir was part of a group known as the Impressionists. They were interested in recording an impression of a scene, capturing a moment and a sensation. Renoir was French, and this painting was painted in a beautiful landscape near Paris. Renoir exhibited at the first Impressionist exhibition of 1874. Unfortunately for him, his landscapes were not a commercial or critical success. And in later years, he became much more interested in figures and the human form. But this beautiful painting is a remarkable example of capturing a fleeting moment, a gust of wind. Good to have another painting familiar to us. Good to have moved. Good to have listened and relaxed. Thank you.